Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. We're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos, and plenty to react to from the weekend in sports. LSU went up to Nashville, dropped a series, but got Sunday's game. World Baseball Classic had a lot of drama last night. We've got our Field of 64 in March Madness. Kellen Moore spoke with the media back on Friday. So lots and lots going on in the world of sports. Let's get right into it with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
You know, being the blue blood of college baseball has its perks. It's good. It's good to win 8 national championships. It's good to lead the nation in attendance for 100 years in a row. It's good to take over Omaha and buy a bunch of Jell-O shots. It's good to have a nationally relevant college baseball team and program. All those things are very, very good, obviously. But it does create an expectation, and it alters our perception, our focus, and our view of the way things go. I could come on here today, absolutely with ease, and do the sunshine and rainbows thing. I could do it. LSU went out there against an SEC ace on Friday who had had 2 good seasons and put together a lot of good at-bats and scored a lot of runs. LSU fought back on Friday, fought back on Sunday, played really well late, scored a lot of runs as a slumping offense. You salvaged a game. You were 1 pitch away from winning a series on the road. Like, I can paint this thing positively if you want. But the fact of the matter is that we're watching this, okay? And we know what championship baseball looks like. We know what elite level college baseball looks like. We've watched it played here for 40 years. And this team is not playing anywhere close to that. That's the story. We're going to get into numbers. We're going to get into situations. We're going to get into pros. We're going to get into cons. But to put a bow on this in its entirety, this team is not playing close to a championship standard right now. Now, you don't have to. They don't hand out any trophies right now. March, nobody's in Omaha except Creighton and the Omaha Mavericks. You've got time. But right now, they're not playing to a championship standard. There was no statistic that stood out more to me this weekend than LSU's walk totals. Absolutely egregious for basically 3 days. Vanderbilt scored 33 runs in this weekend series on 29 hits. LSU walked 10 hitters on Friday and 10 hitters on Saturday. They walked 25 Vanderbilt Commodores over a 3-game set. LSU walked double-digit hitters 3 times last season. They did it twice this weekend. Last year in the College World Series, LSU pitched 45 innings and walked 10 hitters. 45 innings in Omaha. They walked 10 hitters. They walked 10 hitters on Friday. They walked 10 hitters on Saturday. 25 walks in 3 days is just absolutely ridiculous. 11 of the 24 runs that Vanderbilt scored in the first 2 games of the series, they scored 24 runs between Friday and Saturday. 11 of them reached base via the walk or the hit by pitch. I looked this up earlier. In 7 of LSU's 10 SEC series last year, 7 out of 10, the opponent hadn't even scored 11 total runs in the first 2 games when Anderson and Ianson pitched. You let 11 score that reached base a certain way for the first 2 games, Saturday and Sunday. And it starts with the guy that you put out there first, the tone setter. That's your ace. That's your Friday guy. And Kason Evans right now has an ERA for the season of 6.45. He has not faced a ranked opponent yet. His ERA is 6.45. He has not finished the 6th inning yet. He's walked 12 hitters in 22 and a third innings. And on Friday, to quote-unquote set the tone for an SEC weekend against Vanderbilt, he did not record a scoreless inning. Vanderbilt scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and 5 in the fourth. So the question can be asked, like, is he the Friday guy? And I will tell you that last week, in the 4th week of the season against Sacramento State, who has not hit at all this year, he looked like it. And it wasn't to me just because it was Sacramento State. I liked the stuff last week. His fastball was on plane. He was mixing in breaking balls when he wanted to. He was throwing it for a strike when he wanted to. He was burying it when he wanted to. He mixed the changeup in. Like, he looked like a Friday guy against Sacramento State, who's not very good. But in the other 4 outings that he's had, he hasn't. And it's just very, 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 very difficult to navigate this thing for 10 weeks in the SEC, a regional, a super regional in Omaha, without an alpha at the top. LSU has really never done it. It has been done. Tennessee didn't have a dude 2 years ago. Coastal didn't have a dude. It's been done before. LSU hasn't done it. LSU does it with Cade Anderson. LSU does it with Paul Skeens. LSU does it with Anthony Renato and Lewis Coleman. LSU does it with Patrick Coogan, Brian Tallett. And right now, Kason Evans doesn't look that part. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I know this. He's got an incredible attitude, and he is really talented. And Jay Johnson believes in him to his core. We'll see if they want to make a move. That's a question I've been asked for 2 days. Are they going to change Schmidt to Friday? Are they going to move Evans from Friday? My answer to that question right now is if he wants to, and I don't know what he'll do. If he wants to make that move, week 3 is the week that it'll have to happen. Because Evans through Friday of this weekend at Vanderbilt, and then more on Saturday, and then Schmidt on Sunday. This weekend, LSU plays Oklahoma Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if you keep the rotation exactly the same this week, Evans will pitch Thursday, Moore will pitch Friday, and Schmidt will pitch Saturday. And if you want to switch Schmidt to Friday, his Saturday start this week allows that the following week. You don't want to go from Sunday to Friday, but you can go from Saturday to Friday, and he'll pitch Saturday this week. So that's an option. But right now, your ace has faced an underwhelming schedule of opponents and has an ERA at 6.5. Cooper Moore got tagged on Saturday. That's his second substandard outing in a row. Is it concerning? A little bit. I liked what I saw from him early in the season, and I have more confidence that he is a Saturday guy. And I still have confidence that Kason Evans is going to help this team. He may figure it out as a Friday guy. They may put him on Sunday, or they may put him back in his role from last year. I still think he's going to help because he's a good pitcher. He did too much last year, and there have been signs this year that he is good. But there's a standard on Friday that he's not meeting. So you got to figure some things out. It's concerning to me that the starting pitching performed the way that it did over the weekend, because that's the thing that I was leaning back on when the offense was scuffling and some of the relievers weren't getting things done and some of the defense was an issue, but it was kind of like it was pitchers and it was, backup catcher, and it was things that I wasn't concerned about, like a Jake Brown throwing error. Like, I could wave some of that stuff away because I could point to the weekend and go, look, on the weekend, you've got Evans, you've got Moore, you've got Schmidt. Those guys are pitching great. You haven't lost any of those games. You're okay. You'll battle through this, and that'll be your backbone. The team you put out there on the weekend is representative of who you really are. Well, now, in back-to-back weekends, you lost to Sacramento State, and you lost to Vanderbilt. And the pitching has not been up to snuff in either situation. So you've got to figure some things out. The defense this weekend was not nearly good enough. You made an error at third. You made an error at first. Your catcher wasn't able to keep the ball in front of him. Stephen Milam made 2 missed plays. I don't believe either was scored an error, but he had time on that throw when he went up the middle, and he probably can make a play on that ball coming in on Sunday. You put Jack Ruckert in as a defensive replacement at second base. They hit him a tailor-made one-hop double play ball that hits him right in the glove, and he can't transfer it. He's made 2 errors as a defensive replacement at the easiest position on the infield. Zach York's rushing things at first base and not getting an easy throw home. I tweeted about that one. Like, your defense was bad again, and your pitching's not there to pick them up. These are the easy things that you've got to handle. It's easy to throw the ball over the plate. It's easy to play pitch and catch. It's easy to throw the ball from first base home. It's easy to catch a one-hopper and throw it to second base to start a double play and not allow the next guy to hit a 3-run homer because you can't turn a routine double play. These are the easy things. It's hard to beat SEC aces. It's hard to beat SEC closers. It's hard to win series on the road. There are hard things. Throwing the ball over the plate and catching one-hop ground balls and throwing the ball from first to home are not hard things. And LSU's not doing the easy things right now. And it's weighing on them. It's absolutely weighing on them. These guys, most of them, outside of Jake Brown and to a point Curiel, and this weekend Aaron Beatty swung the bat well. And I'm going to talk about some things I like this weekend in the next segment, but I can't lead the show with that today. There are a lot of guys in this lineup that are having the worst run of their college baseball careers, and they're all simultaneously happening, and it's weighing on them. Hopefully, some of what you saw on offense on Sunday continues to carry over. You do have talent in the pitching staff. Despite what people may think, you do have talent in the lineup. It's not showing right now. And the inability to do the easy things is costing you significantly. All 4 polls came out today. LSU is unranked. You've lost 6 of 9. You've lost back-to-back weekends. And you're just not playing nearly well enough. Now, with that said, there's more to this. There is some positive, and I can look big picture. But the lead of the show today is phrased the way the lead of the show today is phrased because of the lens that we have to look through. And the lens that we look through comes right through Omaha, Nebraska, through the Intimidator to that team on the field. 4 decades of phenomenal baseball means that. The lead today, if this was Athens, Georgia, or if this was Lexington, Kentucky, or College Station, Texas, probably wouldn't be phrased as firmly. You barely lost this series. But we know better. We know what championship baseball looks like. This is not it. They've got to get better. We'll talk big picture and some of the positive things when we come back. It's a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Gotros Outdoor Power. Gotros Outdoor Power. 2 locations. One of them on Airline Highway. If you're driving down Airline Highway and you just see a mountain of orange machinery, that's Gotros Outdoor Power. They've got the largest parts inventory in Louisiana and the largest Hustler inventory in the state by far. So if you're looking to get behind the wheel of a brand new zero-turn mower, you can do that at Gotros Outdoor Power. You can do that at some other places. We readily admit that. But what kind of customer service are you going to get? Because at Gotros, they'll help you lug it where it needs to go. They've got trucks on the road every day for 8 hours. Don't have a trailer? No problem. They'll get the mower to you. Need parts? They got you. It's a locally and family-owned and operated company right here in Baton Rouge and Gonzales, and they will help you out, get you behind the wheel of that zero-turn mower. They've been in business for 22 years, open Monday to Saturday. Check them out online at GoTrosOnline.com or go see them at Baton Rouge and Gonzales. It's Gotros Outdoor Power.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Tuesday edition. I wish it was Tuesday. That'd be awesome if it was Tuesday, but it's really not. It's Monday. Monday editions of the Hunt Palmer Show are brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Look, it's an amazing concept that they've got over at Guarantee Health Solutions. Rachel Fricke, who runs things over at GHS, has a background in hospitality. She's worked for hotels, and back in 2009, her mom was unfortunately diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she noticed through the course of that treatment just how impersonal and transactional that journey felt in the healthcare system. And so she went out and said, I have a background in hospitality. It can be better than this. And that's how Guarantee Health Solutions was born. They're an operation that exists to help healthcare organizations prioritize and improve patient experience. Whether that's getting people in the door via marketing, whether that's the journey from walking into the door, dealing with the front desk, and then after the visit, whatever may happen there, Guarantee Health Solutions can help you with all of that. So whether it's a dental clinic, it's an urgent care, it's a hospital, healthcare is complex. They make it easier at Guarantee Health Solutions. Check them out online at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. All right. So, like as I said in the first segment, it wasn't all bad. Like on Friday, LSU scored 12 runs with a legitimate SEC ace on the mound for the other team. Like Connor Fennell is not a traditional ace. He doesn't throw 98 miles an hour with a Snapdragon slider, and he's not going to be the 11th pick in the draft like some SEC aces are. But he proved himself last year, and he pitches on Friday for Vanderbilt. He's a good arm, and LSU knocked him around. In 5 innings, LSU got 9 hits and scored 7 earned runs. Of course, Brown hit the big home run early to give LSU lead, but they got 3 extra base hits on him, had a couple doubles in that homer, and created a lot of traffic. They ran his pitch count up. He threw 102 pitches in 5 innings. That was good offense. Now, at the end of the game, you score 5 in the 8 because Vanderbilt can't keep the ball in front of them. I'm not going to give LSU a massive amount of credit for that. Great job, Jake Brown, getting the bunt down. Curiel comes through. There was some good at bats, but like 2 wild pitches and a pass ball is not a lot of offense from LSU. But Vanderbilt gave it to you, so you took the lead there and couldn't quite hold it. But you scored 12 runs with an SEC ace on the mound. Now on Saturday, your offense went in the deep freeze. You scored 3 runs, got 4 hits, and it wasn't a good offensive day for LSU by any stretch of the imagination. LSU had this number. They struck out 13 times and only got 4 hits. That was a bad day, but I did watch that game and think to myself, this guy's got good stuff. Like Vanderbilt's freshman arm, Nato, whatever. He really pitched great. And sometimes that happens in an SEC game. He had 7 innings, 3 runs, 10 strikeouts, only 2 walks. I thought he did a good job. Sometimes that's going to happen. And LSU came back on Sunday and swung the bats in the late innings. They got a lot of charity early. I will absolutely grant you that. I mean, it was just a complete meltdown from Vanderbilt's starter on Sunday. He simply couldn't. I went back and read the scorecard. I mean, he started the game. He started the game. Walk, hit by pitch, passed ball, double, ground out, fly out. But I mean, walk, hit by pitch, passed ball. That before he had recorded it out, he had done all that, and then he balked in the second inning, doing who knows what. He had a complete meltdown. But LSU in the 7th and 8th, where they scored 5 runs in both of those innings, they hit the ball all over the ballpark. They hit it hard. It was a conducive day for hitting with the wind blowing out to left field. Brown hits it a mile. Aaron Beatty had a really nice weekend and hit the ball well. He scored 16 runs on Sunday, and yes, it was a bumpy start for the Vanderbilt starter, and yes, the first reliever they brought in had LSU flummoxed for a few innings, but it was a legitimately really good offensive day. And so if you're looking for some positives, you can tell that the offense did some things well. You can tell that Cade Aaron Beatty kind of stepped forward and had a nice night. I wrote about him in my Around the Horn piece on LouisianaSports.net. He had 5 hits, 2 doubles, drove in 3 runs. That's a nice day for Cade Aaron Beatty, and that's a guy that you're looking to, and his ceiling and floor are vastly different. He could be an all-SEC type player with his talent. He could be a guy that hits 240 and strikes out a ton. So for him to have a nice weekend in his first SEC weekend as a starter, I thought was encouraging. I thought Omar Cerna hit the ball hard a couple of times. Look, they put Eddie Yaman in there, and he stung the ball once. I thought some of that was good. Zach York hit the ball hard a couple of times. Jake Brown is emerging into a superstar. Derek Curiel swung the bat pretty well for a lot of the weekend. So while the offense was terrible for a couple of weeks, you did see some positivity. I'm not blind to the fact that Vanderbilt had a couple of innings that were ridiculous. The 8th inning on Friday was ridiculous. The first inning on Sunday was ridiculous. That's a lot of Vanderbilt pitching and not a lot of LSU hitting. But there was some really good LSU hitting over the course of the weekend. And that is absolutely a positive for this team in this weekend. And I don't think that the no-show on Saturday is like a 5-alarm disaster. I am willing, even in the course of the fact that it's happened too often, I am willing to tip my hat at times. And this Vanderbilt kid was throwing 95, 96. His breaking ball was good. He was in the strike zone. It was a tough day at the office for LSU. So I'm not going to jump all over him. I thought if you go out there and do that 2 days in a row, that's a really good thing. Now we got to go to Gavin Guidry on Friday, who gives up the game. So in the 8th inning, he comes out and he is breathing fire. Like, he was fantastic in the 8th inning. He comes out. LSU has just taken the lead with that 5-run inning. It goes from 10-7 to 12-10. LSU's got a 2-run lead, and he comes in, gets a flyout, gets a punch out, had both of them looking, had the breaking ball going, looked great coming off the mound. Awesome. So you send him back out for the 9th inning, and he comes out and he gives up a leadoff single on a 3-2 pitch. Then the hard hit line drive to right field on a 2-2 pitch, gets first and second. Then he throws a pass ball. I mean, you gotta make the play as the catcher. Not great. Get a fly ball to right center. That's a sac fly. And then they give Holcomb to the plate with the tying run at third base, and Guidry gets a strikeout of Vanderbilt's best hitter. Great pitch, attacking, and threw a great breaking ball and got the punch out. And then John Stone hits it a mile out of the ballpark to right field. So you look at Guidry, and he has not been very good in his last 3 outings. He was brilliant to begin the season, not been good in his last 3 outings. His last 3 outings, 6 innings, 7 hits and 7 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. So you're talking about an ERA over 9. In his first 4 outings, 9 innings, no runs, 16 strikeouts, no walks. He was unhittable in his first 4 outings. His last 3, it started in Lafayette, then one last week, and then the one against Vanderbilt. So the question is, like, has teams figured him out? Is he not good enough stuff? I thought early in Gavin Guidry's college career, man, I don't know how much you can trust him in these super high leverage spots because the fastball is like 90. And you don't have to throw hard to get outs, but like it does help. It helps that Sheeran throws 98. Helps him get outs. And Guidry hasn't been that. He was hitting 95 on Friday. Like, that's a lot of life on the fastball. And we know the breaking ball is good enough. So I don't think it's a stuff thing. Like, if you just didn't tell me Gavin Guidry, just put it in a vacuum, like, is this guy good enough to be a closer? He throws 95 and has a really good breaking ball. I would go, yeah, that's great. That's about as good as you can get. Not a lot of guys are throwing 98. Some, not a lot. I thought he just got hit on Friday. I wrote this in Around the Horn. I would much rather the closer get beat on a leadoff single, a single to right field, and a 400-foot homer than walk, bunt, sack fly, walk, hit. Like, at least he threw it over the plate. Make him hit it. Now, Vanderbilt did it. Their credit. So here's one thing I know. I know that Jay Johnson, and this is his quote, not mine, his quote, I trust Gavin Guidry with my life. So if they have a lead on Thursday this week against Oklahoma, I think Guidry's coming in. What's my confidence level in there? It's not 10 out of 10. It's more like 6 or 7. But Jay's going to do it. He's not going to demote Gavin Guidry based on 3 bumpy outings. But teams are hitting him. He's not walking guys. Louisiana Lafayette small-balled him to death early in that game. They drew an early walk on a 3-2 pitch that there had been multiple foul balls. It was really long at bat. He drew a walk. Then they execute the hit and run. Then they execute another hit and run. They get a bunt down. Like, they small-balled it to death. And then Vanderbilt just hit him in the ninth. But I still consider the fact that his 8th inning was awesome. He needed a strikeout against the best hitter in that Vanderbilt lineup, and he got it. I still think he's okay. He's not Chase Shores of June from last year. He hasn't emerged as that. He's not Zach Hess, College World Series 2017. He hasn't emerged as that. But he's got a great temperament. The stuff is good enough. He just hadn't gotten it done in the last 3 outings. He was great in the first 4. I still think LSU's going to go to him in big spots, but it's been a little bumpy of late. That's a lot that I've digested. It's 30 minutes of unpacking this weekend. Ultimately, here's the deal, big picture. You're not playing nearly well enough, as I mentioned in the first segment. You're not playing nearly well enough. But you're not in a terrible spot. Losing a series on the road at Vanderbilt is not the end of the world. Now, if you had gotten swept, like it looked like in the 5th, 6th, 7th yesterday, then that's a different discussion. They got a game. Now there are 6 straight at home in conference play. You can steady the ship here if you play a little bit better. The story here is how they're playing, not the result of the game. The results of the game are nothing that LSU can't overcome. You're 1-2 in the league. A lot of teams are 1-2 in the league. You got 6 games coming at home. If you look at the rankings, you don't play Texas. You don't play Auburn. You don't play Arkansas. Those 3 are in the top 5. You're okay right now based on what's coming up on the schedule and where you are currently. That's not the story. We're not counting league games right now. The story is they're not playing well enough. And ultimately, Jay's first team played better late than early. They figured out Mikhail Hilliard. Ty Floyd got a little bit better. Vason Razelman, came through, and they played great offense against Vanderbilt, and they played a little bit better late. The 2013 team was great late in the season. The 24 team figured some things out halfway through SEC play, as we know. Last year's team was much better late in the season than it was early in the season. You didn't know what Anderson was. Ianson wasn't brilliant the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, and those guys settled in and were great. You figured out Shores' role. Jay's teams have figured this out. So for me to sit here on March 16th and go, well, this team's not going to get it done, that would be a little bit pessimistic and not in tune with what's happened the first 4 years of his tenure. But you got to hopefully get it going. Home weekend against Oklahoma, home weekend against Kentucky. You've got an opponent that you can overwhelm tomorrow in Grambling State out of the SWAC. Got to start playing better. Big picture, they're okay in the standings and with what they've done. Got to play better. And that's where things have to be from this point moving forward. All right, our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions or online at guaranteehealth.com. Take a time out. We'll come back and change things up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, now under new ownership. The Fabry family been in business for 35 years, 3 locations, 5 brands. This one been open since October 1st under the Fabry family umbrella. So if you're looking for a new vehicle, make that short drive up to St. Francisville and check them out. They've got up to $11,000 off Silverados or 1.9 APR financing. They've got up to $13,000 off GMC Sierras or 0.0 APR finances. If you're looking for an SUV, they've got Tahoes, they've got Suburbans, they've got GMC Yukons and Denali's. Make that short drive up Highway 61 and see my friends at Fabry Chevrolet. You know you're going to get wonderful customer service, fantastic service after the sale as well. Your buying experience will be a great one, as it has been for almost 4 decades with the Fabry family. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville, online at fabrychevrolet.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding health care forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Take a minute to remind y'all about my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux'Electrical.com is the website. Looking for that Generac home standby generator? Trust the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical with that. Neil and Melissa have been running it for 40 years. They know what to do here in South Louisiana. And in this part of the world, we know generators can be very, very important. Hurricanes are always right around the corner. We've had a couple of quiet years in a row, and I am certainly hopeful that there's another one in our near future. But as you know, things can change pretty quickly. If you don't have that Generac home standby generator, now might be the time to make that happen so that it is installed by the time weather heats up and those storms get to brewing. Call them at 985-397-1562, 985-397-1562, or at the Gonzales location, 225-300-9389. Go with the local option. Go with the option that gives you incredible customer service, monitoring that generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can have someone at your home to make sure things are running smoothly. In the event that things don't run smoothly and you lose your power, Boudreaux's Electrical, online at Boudreaux'Electrical.com, Boudreaux'Electrical.com. I told you something last week. I said, I believe we'll have our answer to LSU's basketball situation by the time I hit the air on Monday. I said that last week. Well, you don't have any movement to this point. You also have not had an athletic director say anything. And they're doing all this behind the scenes. We know from listening to Verge Osbury publicly that he said, look, LSU basketball should be in the NCAA tournament. We need to be in the NCAA tournament. And LSU basketball hasn't made the NCAA tournament in 4 years. So that's one piece of information that we have. We know that some teams that have had disappointing seasons have come out and publicly backed their basketball coach. South Carolina leaked to the media that Lamont Paris would return after a third bad season in 4 years there in Columbia. Now, we had one good one. They went 13-5 in the league and made the NCAA tournament. But they came out and publicly backed him. And LSU, since things went final in Nashville last Wednesday against Kentucky, hasn't said a word. And so you look at the situation, and one of two things can be true. They are waiting to make a move, or they've made the decision to move forward with Matt McMahon. Neither of those decisions would be shocking to me. I know that there are a lot of you that are yelling from the rooftops that you're shocked that something hasn't already been done, but we kind of know what the situation is here. And in this era, money is very, very important. And it's significant investment in men's basketball to do anything but stand pat. So I lied last week when I told you I thought that things would move quickly because I just didn't believe that the basketball had anything to do with it. I believed that the decision had already been made prior to LSU going to Nashville, weeks prior to LSU going to Nashville. Because everyone is aware, Verge Osbury, Matt McMahon, me, you listening, everybody is aware that what we have watched for 4 years is not an acceptable win-loss product. Everyone's aware of that. Question is, what does that information do? Does it make you make a move, or does it make you do things differently with the same cast of characters? I do not believe they will tell Matt McMahon to make staff changes. I don't believe that to be the case. That's something you see quite often with athletic programs. If there's a head coach that hasn't done things, that hasn't gotten to the level he's supposed to, sometimes say, hey, you got to fire these assistants, get some new blood in there. I don't think that is the decision that makes a lot of sense here. It's either run it back or don't. Not rearranging the deck chairs. And I think the obvious thing that everyone's kind of looking at is that you're looking at NC State. Like that doesn't appear to me to be a super far stretch. When you look at the cast of characters that is now in place at LSU and their relationships to Will Wade, I'm not making a stretch here. It is what it is. You know these things. Dr. Roos was there in McNeese with Will Wade. Lee Mallett knows Wade, talking about the president of the system and the new chairman of the Board of Supervisors. We know that Jeff Landry goes back with Will Wade. And I think that you might look at that. And now NC State is in the play-in. I actually forgot to look this up if they play tomorrow or Wednesday. Doesn't really matter. But if they lose, then all of a sudden, I'll turn the clock up. It doesn't feel to me, and this is my speculation. I'm not citing sources here. I'm not in the know. I'm just reading the room. I'm reading the tea leaves. It doesn't feel to me like LSU is about to go conduct a coaching search. I think they've either done the search or they're not doing one. I don't think something's going to happen in that way moving forward. A lot of people are just sitting around waiting on pins and needles. I get it. In a way, this has become more interesting than the basketball season, which is disappointing. This is the time of year you want to be queuing up the CBS theme song and thinking about your team in the NCAA tournament. That's where the intensity crops up and people start paying more attention. Instead, in Baton Rouge, we're paying more attention about the future of the program than a game that LSU is playing. So I misspoke last week. I thought we would find our answer quickly, and we haven't. There's just been radio silence. And it just feels like if you read the room that it just may be a waiting game. We'll see. But maybe give it another week. I'd like to hear something from LSU. I guess they're not under any obligation to do that, but it's been quite quiet, and a lot of things are moving around in the college coaching carousel, and LSU has not jumped on to this point. So we'll see what that situation looks like, but right now, just kind of sitting and waiting for LSU basketball to make a move, and that has not happened to this point. All right, our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, guaranteehealth.com, moving healthcare forward. We got a lot to do coming up over the next hour and 15 minutes. Kellen Moore met with the media on Friday. We'll hear some sound from him at the top of hour number 2. I do want to talk about the weekend that was in Southeastern Conference baseball. Some absolutely wild games in Austin, Texas, in Athens, Georgia. Crazy stuff going on in SEC action. So we'll talk a little bit about that. A crazy series finale between Oklahoma and Texas A&M as well. So we'll talk a bit about that. We also have some other things to discuss, like the World Baseball Classic and what I was doing on Saturday evening down in New Orleans. So we'll get into some of that. We'll close out hour number 1 when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. That's the website. Jonathan Carbo and his team are fantastic folks to work with on the insurance side of things. I'll tell you about their ability to help you out with property and casualty all the time. They can get you into a captive program if you qualify. They are happy to help you out no matter what your line of work is, whatever the course and scope of your work is. They can help you out with the property and casualty. But they also do group and employee benefits as well. And you know how important that is. 1, to attract talent to your organization. 2, to maintain that talent. If you don't have great benefits, folks could look elsewhere. They can help you out at the Highland Insurance Group. I know a lot of businesses have not been thrilled with their healthcare renewals, with their benefit renewals, premiums going up, especially with one specific carrier. If you need a second set of eyeballs, a second opinion, a second option, the Highland Insurance Group is happy to help you out with group and employee benefits. Check them out online at HighlandIG.com. They're located here in Baton Rouge and online at HighlandIG.com.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at lockmeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Jordan, do I have your permission to vent for a bit?
Yeah, sure.
So, how about this? I feel like a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this. I go to lunch today.
Okay.
And it was downtown. And I parked my vehicle.
Oh,
and I could tell that I was in a place where you have to pay to park.
Okay.
They want you to scan the barcode. My phone is a piece of junk. I need a new one. And my camera doesn't work anymore. So I can't scan the barcode.
What?
But I did go to the little kiosk. And I punched my license plate in.
You physically did it, yeah.
I put my license plate in, and I paid the $1.75 that it was for an hour and a half to park. Paid for it. Go to lunch. Come out. There's a ticket in my window right here. Big yellow ticket. Well, I paid for this. This operation is ridiculous.
Okay.
One, where are these attendants? It's like they hide around a corner somewhere and then pop out, slap a ticket, and then go disappear again.
Yeah.
So I knew I paid for this. I'm walking around. It's pretty chilly out there. The wind's blowing.
Kicking.
Trying to find someone because I have a receipt on my phone that I paid for it.
Yeah.
But there is no one. There's just no one there.
Not a number, none?
So I look on the thing, and I got to go to this website to contest it. Okay, so I get back to work, and I go to the website. I can't read the handwriting on this thing to figure out what the notice number is. So I put it in wrong twice and then finally figured it out. The 6 is impossibly incorrect, but it is a 6. So I put it in there. And so to contest this ticket on this website, I have to go through an AI bot.
Oh, Lord.
That's immediately feeding me back. What's your full name?
Yeah.
Well, what's the address? I don't know the address of the parking lot. I don't know. It's right next to the restaurant I went to. So I couldn't figure that out. I finally put in, what's a phone number I can call to talk to a person? I'm typing this in to the AI bot.
Yeah.
Well, then it says, hold on a second. And then I'm using Antonio pops in to come and help me out.
All right, Antonio.
And he's like, well, what's the number? And I finally just typed back, hey, I have the receipt. I paid for this. I don't want to pay this $80 ticket. Can I just give you the number? And then he goes, yes, well, just give me your license plate. Okay, give me your full name. Okay, give me the address where it happened. I don't know. finally, they said, oh, it was on Laurel Street. Is that right? Yes, that's right. It was on Laurel Street. That's perfect.
Oh, he was real close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, yep, no payments necessary. What is this operation? I know no payment was necessary. I already did this. It's an attendant who's like gone with the wind. Yeah. It's an AI bot. I can't deal with any people. This operation, I don't condone this. This is absurd.
Well, you know what I get from all this is that these steps are in place so that you would give up midway and just be like, all right, whatever, forget it. I'll just pay the ticket. This is too complicated for me to figure this out, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just pay the ticket.
It's a mystery attendant with bad handwriting, an AI bot, Antonio, whatever, and all the while they were wrong. I paid. Yeah. I paid to park.
All these steps were for
Absurd.
them to just extract $80 out of your pocket.
And pay online within 72 hours.
See? So then there's a threat of
that ain't happening.
Yeah, you gotta do it. And then the fact you said it feels like the guy just. The second you got out your car, walked inside, popped out,
I'm looking for a guy. Yeah. Where are they? Where is this guy?
I promise you, he saw you when you was looking for him. Now he was around
the corner.
Yeah.
Jeez,
he saw you for sure.
Ridiculous.
He probably was in the car, just like, all right, yeah, oh no, that's him right there. Let me set the seat back, just lean the seat back.
Let me tell you about some actually good people that do some good work. That's the folks over at Ochsner. They want to remind you that it's Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Colon cancer is very, very common, but it is preventable and treatable when it's caught early. And screening can help detect precancerous polyps before they turn into cancer. That's the big deal. Adults beginning at age 45 need to start getting screened. If you've got a family history, maybe you need to start a little bit earlier. Colonoscopies are the gold standard. Talk to your provider. That's important. They can help determine the best choice for you when it comes to screening options. An established relationship with your primary care provider makes all the difference. They can guide you onto the right screenings at the right time. So schedule an appointment at Ochsner.org/schedule or through the My Ochsner route. That's Ochsner.org/schedule. I checked out the Savannah Bananas on Saturday. Didn't really know what I was getting into. I did bring the old portable charger and watch the LSU game while the Bananas were playing. But we brought the Myers man. He had the jersey, had great tickets. Alyssa tells me she bought him. It was for Myers' birthday. I was like, well, how are our tickets for this thing? She was like, I'm not sure. I don't think they're very good. They're in like 300 something. I was like, well, 600 is the upper. 300 is the loge. That's awesome. Yeah. We roll up. We're on the loge. We're right there on the third baseline. It was great tickets.
Okay.
This is not a baseball game. The Savannah Bananas is not a baseball game.
It's like a little show.
It's a circus, and they play baseball between the circus.
It's a circus.
So, it's the production level on this is phenomenal.
Okay.
And I got some chuckles out of it. Alyssa's cracking up. Myers had a blast, and so it was a huge success. Is it for me? No. Chris Marler, right on the money, goes, you are literally the last person the Savannah Bananas are marketing to.
Most definitely.
I don't need to see them throwing bananas out of the 600 level of Superdome and trying to catch them in their pants. I don't have to have an 81-year-old coming down out of a bicycle and taking it at bat at 81 years old. I don't need a dance party between innings or a pitcher on stilts. That's not my bag. But I appreciated how wonderfully they engaged the crowd for 2 straight hours.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this, the one thing I did like that they did, and this is because the point you could tell was to take everything, and I use air quotes here, that people think is boring about baseball and get rid of it. You can't bunt. They get no pitch. It's not a lot of pitching changes. It goes fast. And the thing that I liked that they did for this purpose, not for real baseball, for this purpose, is if you walk, which is a boring part of baseball, ball 4, you walk down to first base. That's boring. Yeah. Instead of that, right when ball 4 happens, the batter takes off running.
Sprint.
And all 9 players on the field have to touch the ball before you can get him out. So right when they walk, all the outfielders come running in. The catcher fires it to third. They throw it around the horn. The third baseman goes to the second baseman, the shortstop to the first baseman. Then the outfielders are there by that time, and they toss it around. So if you walk a guy with a runner on second base, that guy's going to score with ease.
Yeah.
So that was, I thought, a very, very creative way to keep the crowd engaged. Some of the stuff they did I thought was pretty funny. They had a 2-year-old on third base, and they put both of her parents at home plate.
Yeah.
And then she got to pick one, and then the one that lost got pied in the face.
Oh, Lord.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
Was
they
it
brought
the
Tyler. They brought Tyler. The 2-year-old girl went to the dad.
I knew it.
The mom got pied.
I knew it.
Brought Tyler Shuck out there. A little bit concerning. I will say this: Tyler Shuck only 33% completion percentage against the Party Animals defense. He did throw a touchdown, but
he was a little rusty.
He was 1 for 3 through the air in that one.
How was the crowd pop when he showed up?
It was really good.
Okay.
He tried to do the hoodat. He ran out and put his hand down.
It wasn't ready.
The crowd didn't respond to that. But
Tough crowd.
yeah.
Crowd.
And look, some of these guys can play. Like they didn't kick the ball around on the infield.
High level
they threw it
baseball
around.
a little bit.
I mean, these are college baseball players.
Okay.
So I thought it was. I wouldn't go back myself at all. But for kids, it's good. And certainly, I absolutely appreciate the production value in keeping fans engaged. I thought they did an awesome job at that. We got 40 seconds. Cassie, thumbs up or thumbs down on the Bananas?
I liked them. It was overwhelming in the dome. But
yeah, I mean,
liked them.
it is, as my buddy who went with like 6 kids, and they had multiple parents, but there were a lot of kids. Like it looked like a 12-year-old's TikTok feed, like for 2 straight hours, just like constant stuff happening with the Savannah Bananas. So I always like watching games in the dome. Enjoyable experience, and the Myers band liked it. So there's your Savannah Bananas review here on this Monday. We'll talk some Saints after we pause from National Headlines at Sports Center. Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is that website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, if you feel like you've got a big old tub, maybe one of those 90s jacuzzi tubs that's huge and takes up a lot of space, but you don't ever use it, or maybe you've got a tub that's kind of getting old and dingy, kind of unsightly to look at, or maybe it's not functioning the way that it did when it was built in the 80s or 90s, take the tub out if you don't use it and put in a walk-in shower. These are projects that David Duvall does all the time, and you're looking at a 3 to 5 day work job. Like, that's all you're talking about. You're looking about financing. They've got that at One Bath and Closet, 0% up to 18 months. So if you need a tub to shower conversion, that's David Duvall's bread and butter. He can handle that like nobody else in town. Trust someone who's been in the business almost 40 years. David Duvall has, and he's happy to help you out. Start that consultation at OneBathAndClosets.com. It's David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. You can find him online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Justin Fields is the newest backup quarterback for the Chiefs. They acquired the 27-year-old from the Jets for a 2027 sixth-round draft pick. New York acquired Geno Smith from the Raiders last week to be its QB1. Kansas City starter Patrick Mahomes, rehabbing from knee surgery, has said he wants to be ready for the season opener. Alabama's second leading scorer, Aiden Holloway, arrested on a felony drug charge 4 days before his team set to play in the NCAA tournament, reportedly taken into custody for possessing more than 1 pound of marijuana. NBA, Lakers seek to run their winning streak to 6 when they visit the Rockets tonight, and it's the start of a critical stretch for LA, explains ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
This 5-game road trip that begins tonight in Houston is very, very difficult, though. It is going to challenge them. The Rockets are the third best home team in the league, and they're right next to them in the standings. So all of this work for the last couple of weeks that has gotten them into this position could be undone by a bad 10 days here. We'll see how they handle this challenge.
Lakers currently third in the Western Conference, up a half game on Houston.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday. Before the tournament tips off, I'll give you my top 5 players I'm most excited to watch. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Find them online at guaranteehealth.com, guaranteehealth.com. Talk about the weekend that was in the SEC for baseball. We got some women's basketball to get to later on in the hour, as well as LSU learned its fate in its bracket for the NCAA tournament yesterday evening. So we'll get into some of that. But we are going to start with the New Orleans Saints here to begin our number 2. Kellen Moore met with the media back on Friday, really as we were on the air. So an opportunity now to get to hear that sound from Friday. And I thought he had some relatively interesting things to say. But to me, the focal point of the offseason for New Orleans right out of the chute was revamping the running game. Kellen Moore has had good running games throughout his time as a play caller in the National Football League. He had a really good offensive line in Dallas that could run the ball. Obviously, in Philly, they were absolutely loaded in that 1 year, maybe the best offensive line in football, a really good running quarterback as well. And you saw late in the season last year that Tyler Shuck did help you in the running game a little bit, but overall, the running game last year for New Orleans was not nearly good enough. So what have they done? Well, they went out in free agency and immediately made 2 big additions when it comes to running the football. It started on the offensive line, bringing in Edwards to be your left guard. And Kellen Moore talked about why it was important to target Edwards.
Felt really good identifying him as an ideal fit for our group, for our unit. Him kind of rolling in there next to Kelvin at that left guard spot. Felt like it was just a really clean transition for us. You know, watching his career, his consistency, his steadiness, what he did in Buffalo as far as leading that group. We certainly identified that. It's certainly a goal of ours. If this worked, it would be awesome. And fortunate for us, it felt like a good match for him and what he was looking for as well.
I think that's just was so vital to the Saints to get him in the building, and obviously the Saints felt the same way, and that's really the first guy they drilled down and wanted to make sure that they got. And you look at Kellen Moore, and I go back to the 2 examples I gave you with Dallas and Philly and the great offensive lines that Kellen had there when he was calling plays, and you look at the fact that the first-round pick that the Saints made was on the offensive line with a new left tackle, and the first free agent signing that they made in this year with Cap was on the offensive line right next to him at left guard. So your left tackle and your left guard were obviously priorities, and so he spoke to the investment they wanted to make up front with this organization since taking over.
I just think you're always looking at offensive line, defensive line, that the importance of those positions, and so that's a year-round acquisition. Certainly, David's a big important piece to this. To have the last 2 first-round picks be our left tackle, right tackle, have some depth inside with all those guys. We feel like we're in a really good place.
I agree. I think the Saints' offensive line is going to be a strength, and for the last 2 years, it's been a crippling weakness. Now, you've got to stay healthy. If McCoy can't play, then this feeling that I have about this being a strength goes out the window. But if you're healthy, you have young tackles that should be improving and entering their prime. You've got proven veterans at left guard and center. Now, right guard is what it is with Cesar Ruiz, but like 4 of your 5 spots theoretically should be really good. I think it's possible for Kelvin Banks to grow into a Pro Bowl left tackle. I think it's possible, if not probable, that Eric McCoy is a all-pro candidate at center. And I think Edwards is a good player at left guard. So you've got what I think can be a strength. And so now you add on behind them at the running back position and you bring in Travis Etienne, and Moore spoke to that.
Huge fan of this guy going back to Clemson, following his career in Jacksonville, his vision, his speed, obviously, to make some home run plays, and then his ability to make plays. Hard up to have him.
I think that is well said as well. I think you could sense Kellen's a pretty vanilla guy. Not a lot of juice from the interviews generally, but saying that he's fired up and giving examples of tracking him back. And I heard Matt Moscona back on Friday talking about how few 1,000-yard rushers the Saints have actually produced. Like, Alvin Kamara's never done it. And Etienne's done it multiple times now in his NFL career. Certainly did last year. And so you bring him in, and he's a difference maker. And if that offensive line plays to its level, and Etienne does what he's done, like, you've got a guy who changes fundamentally the way your offense functions if you can run the football as well as Etienne has in his career. But that's not the only thing Etienne does. He also can help you out catching the football.
Yeah, you saw it at Clemson. Obviously, I think all of us evaluated that and saw that as a potential. And then you see the stuff they did in Jacksonville. He certainly made some plays out in space. And again, it'll be fun once we get on the field and kind of just get to experience that with him and kind of find what best suits us moving forward.
Using that running back in the passing game, such a benefit for a young quarterback. They're easy throws. They're oftentimes matchup advantages. You like your running back running against those linebackers. And I think that's something that the Saints are absolutely going to incorporate with Travis Etienne in the passing game. And the question with all of this becomes, okay, what's next with Kamara? That's the question you've got to ask, because you've made all these moves, and I talked about it last week. One of the moves that you made very quietly was restructuring Kamara's deal to allow there to be a more simplified separation. And that's just not something you just do for grins. Like, you do that with an intention, and it feels like that may happen. And so Kellen Moore was asked about the situation with Alvin Kamara.
Really, we were able to sign a few guys so far. Obviously, we've had those conversations, and we'll see where the next few months take ourselves as this season goes. Again, we got a lot of roster stuff to navigate, but we'll be just fine.
That, to me, is such a loud answer. Like, he literally said nothing in that. That's not true. That's like my wife incorrectly using the term literally. He did say something, but he didn't say anything of substance at all in that answer. It's like, well, we'll be fine, and we'll sign some guy. Like, there's nothing to that bite at all. But that's what makes it a bite, like, that I grasp to, because it's so easy to turn around and say, yeah, he's absolutely part of our plans. He's under contract, and he didn't do that. And we talked about it on Friday, but it just to dismiss that so quickly and to not divulge anything, to me, was fascinating. And so I just feel like we're going to be watching to see what Alvin Kamara does in the near future. Last bite here from Kellen Moore as you talk about the running game and kind of the overhauling of this roster to take a step forward and compete coming up in 2026, hopefully for an NFC South division. Are you done in free agency? And they asked Kellen Moore that.
Yeah, it's a year-round process, so there's a lot of stuff that comes up throughout this whole process, and we'll continue to go, and there's plenty of stuff to navigate.
I just like that soundbite because he is really good at giving you nothing. I mean, play that again, Jordan. It's number 18. This is.
Yeah, it's a year-round process, so there's a lot of stuff that comes up throughout this whole process, and we'll continue to go, and there's plenty of stuff to navigate.
That's just nothing. So who knows? Who knows if the Saints are done or not? My sincere guess is that they're not, because they have money to spend, and it's not like the Saints to not push that salary cap all the way to the brink. You've certainly got to leave a little bit of room to sign your draft class, and we know that, and the Saints are going to have to do that. They've got a lot of picks, and I think leaving some money there does indicate that the Saints intend to use their picks instead of mortgaging them to go move up some spots. I think that the Saints would be in their best interest to use the selections that they had. They did a great job last year with that, and I think their plan should be to do that again. But I don't think they're done in free agency. I do think they will continue to look around. I think that there are obvious positions that the Saints will target. I think cornerback is obviously one. It would not surprise me at all if they went back into the well at linebacker, even after Caden Ellis. Would not surprise me at all if they got another offensive lineman, even though they signed Dylan Radins over the weekend as well. I think there are some spots that you've got to bring some guys in, and what Alvin Kamara does may depend on whether or not you need to add at running back as well. But you've got time to do that. You've got time to sign free agents. You got the draft coming up in about a month, and then you've got the undrafted free agent period of player acquisition as well to add where you need to. Obviously, the draft is the most important part of that to me because it's where you can lock guys down on the cheap. But while you've got some money to spend in free agency, go ahead and make that happen, and I expect that the Saints will. But to me, and I've said this many times, I actually was talking about it over the weekend down in New Orleans, I feel like things are really positive with New Orleans right now. I feel like you can sense that you're moving in the right direction. And the most fun is being at the top of the mountain, obviously, but that doesn't happen very often for any team. Maybe Tom Brady. But there's so much joy in the ride up. And it feels like you're on the ground floor of the ride up. It's like you're on the elevator. At a certain point, back in October, it felt like you were on the ground floor, maybe outside the building. Now you're on the elevator. It's time to start moving up, and I feel like the Saints have done a really good job in this offseason, and I feel like that the running game for the young quarterback is the most important thing. So we'll see. Great stuff there from Kellen Moore in some cases. In some cases, maybe not as much, but good stuff happening for the Saints down in New Orleans. Our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. We'll step aside, come back, and I'll give you some quick hitters on the SEC baseball weekend that was. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. That is FabryChevrolet.com. You know the Fabry family. Maybe not in the Chevrolet world, but in Baton Rouge, because they've been here for 35 years. 3 locations, 5 brands, amazing buying experience, great customer service after the sale as well. All that is what you get when you do business with the Fabry family. And now they're thrilled to have their Fabry Chevrolet GMC under their ownership now on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. 2 weeks ago, my wife and I went up to St. Francisville for the weekend. It's really a quick drive right up there, and you can see them on Highway 61 there. Go by and check them out. The inventory is fantastic. It is large. They've got Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Suburbans. If you're looking for a Yukon or Denali on the GMC side, they've got them. New and certified pre-owned vehicles as well. If you're looking for a truck, no better spot. Up to $11,000 off Silverados, up to $13,000 off GMC Sierras as well. You're saving 5 figures off MSRP. Fantastic deals with fantastic people there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Check them out at Highway 61 in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, GuaranteeHealth.com. It's GuaranteeHealth.com. Let's tell you a little bit about what went on in the Southeastern Conference over the weekend. So, there were 3 sweeps. Kentucky swept Alabama. Of course, Kentucky will be at the box in 2 weeks. Oklahoma this week and Kentucky next week. So, Kentucky sweeps Alabama. Thought that was pretty loud, and Bama's not very good. They were near the bottom of my power rankings in that 14th spot in the first 2 weeks, and I don't know that they're going to move from there. Auburn went and swept Missouri. We expect that to generally happen. I think Auburn is pretty good, and they swept Missouri. And then Florida swept South Carolina. Now, that one was loud because South Carolina in 3 games, scored a total of 3 runs. They were shut out on Friday. They were shut out on Saturday, and they scored 3 on Sunday and lost 13-3. So they got run ruled in the only game they scored in. They mustered 11 hits on the weekend, hit 1 homer and 4 doubles, so 5 extra base hits in 3 games against Florida, and got swept right out of town. So these are the 3 worst teams in the league to me. They were the 3 worst 3 teams in my power rankings in week 1 and week 2 when I did them, and they still look like the worst 3 teams, and they didn't win a game over the weekend. LSU does not play Bama and does not play Missouri. LSU does play South Carolina. So that's a look at the teams that struggled. Now let's look at the more competitive series of the weekend. The Texas-Ole Miss series was really good. Ole Miss hit a grand slam in the 8th inning on Friday to take the lead. Texas was down to its final strike and came back and tied it. They went to extras, and Texas won the game in extra innings. Ole Miss won the game in extra innings. Texas came back and won the next 2. So, again, Ole Miss hits the grand slam to take the lead. Texas tied it, sent it to extras, and Ole Miss beat Texas in extra innings. It was the Longhorns' first loss of the season. Texas came back and won the second 2 games of the weekend. Really competitive weekend between Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Oklahoma takes 2 out of 3. What I was interested in was that Friday game. LSU plays both of these 2 teams at the box, incidentally. And I wanted to see what that game looked like on Friday between 2 aces that have thrown the ball really well at A&M and Oklahoma. Cam Johnson, of course, everyone knows from his time at LSU. He's been very good for Oklahoma. He went out there and had the Cam Johnson outing. Like, this is in there. 2 and a 1/3 innings, 7 walks. 7 walks for Cam Johnson in 2 and a 1/3. He gave up 5 runs on 1 hit. But on the other side, Shane Sadeo, who's also been very good, got hit hard. 3 2/3 innings, 8 hits and 4 earned runs. He only had 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. So I was curious how those aces would look, and they did not pass their first test of SEC play. So when Cam Johnson comes to Baton Rouge to very likely make a start on Thursday, he'll be coming off a 7-walk outing. We know what that looks like around here. We'll see how things shake out. Georgia took 2 of 3 from Tennessee by about the closest margin you can possibly do it. Tennessee hit what would have been a go-ahead home run, and the left fielder from Georgia robbed it to win the game. That was one of Georgia's 2 wins. A ball that was taken from a home run back into play to save the game. So really, really close one. And I was fascinated by Arkansas and Mississippi State. They, because of weather, had to play a doubleheader on Saturday, and ultimately Arkansas wins the weekend. They won the first game on Friday 5-4, came back and played the doubleheader on Saturday. Mississippi State won the first game of that doubleheader 7-2, and then Arkansas came back and won it 7-3 in the nightcap of that doubleheader to win the series. I thought it was a really impressive showing by Arkansas, and I know that they've had some losses. They've lost 6 games to this point, but I still believe in Dave Van Horn's team. And I saw an amazing stat when you consider just how competitive the SEC is in baseball. Dave Van Horn and Arkansas have won 9 consecutive SEC opening series, 9 in a row. Like, that is remarkable. And to me, to put this in a local perspective, because this is not an Arkansas show or Mississippi State show, but to put it in a local perspective, Dave Van Horn at Arkansas has won 9 straight SEC opening series. Dave Van Horn at Arkansas has not won less than 18 league games since 2017. That is almost a decade of winning 18-plus league games. It's truly unbelievable. And to further the local aspect of this, to consider the fact that that man has not won a national championship blows my mind. They are really good every single freaking year. And LSU has won 8 of these things. It's just really difficult for me to compartmentalize that. To compartmentalize Mike Martin having a really good team for 30 years in a row and not winning is crazy to me. Dave Van Horn being elite for 20 years and never winning it is crazy to me. And I just feel like our perspective is so wickedly warped by Skip Bertman and Jay Johnson that, hey, you show up in Omaha every 2 years, which they've been 20 out of 40. That was what I kept writing last year. They've been 20 out of 40 years, and they've won 8 of the 20. I'm not super at math, but 40% is a pretty good clip to be winning the national championship when you get to Omaha. LSU gets there 50% of the years, and they win 40% of the championships in those years. And Arkansas, who's good every year, has first-round picks and All-Americans. They had the Golden Spikes winner last year, National Pitcher of the Year, Kevin Kopps, Hagen Smith. Can't win it. Every year they go out and they start 3-0 or 2-1. Every year they win 18 or 19 games. Can't win it. I'll tell you this. I know that Dave Van Horn's getting older in age. If you handed me a crisp 20 and said, you got to take this to the window, you got to bet, will he win a national championship, will he not? I would bet it on that he will. Probably against my odds at this point because he's got more in the rearview mirror than he does coming out the windshield. But they're just too good not to. And Mississippi State is excellent this year. They had lost 2 games all year entering that game on Friday, and both of them were heartbreakers to very good teams. They lost an extra inning game they should have won against UCLA, number 1 team in the country. And then they lost a game in Hattiesburg against a ranked Southern Miss team that they should have won. Back-to-back wild pitches cost them. Went from leading to trailing and lost the game. But that's the only losses they had, and Arkansas beat them 2 out of 3. Now, it was in Fayetteville. They beat them 2 out of 3. So, I saw that stat about Dave Van Horn and Arkansas winning 9 straight SEC opening series. And it just sparked something in me to be like, God, they are so good every year, and it's so hard to win. And around here, we sit around and go, and legitimately talk about winning the whole thing in October. Because it just feels like that's what you're supposed to do. And Paul Maneri got roasted for going to Omaha and losing 2 games. And that's Arkansas's fate like most of the time. Smoke Val got run out of town after going to Omaha twice in 4 years. Now, that wasn't why he got fired because he lost in Omaha. He got fired because he ran the program off a cliff, and they were atrocious in 2006, and they were bad in 2007. That was his doing, even though it was Paul's first year. But he got fired going to Omaha a couple times. That's all David Horn does, go to Omaha, and can't quite get it done. I will never in my life forget being in that press box for that second Arkansas game last year when Aloy threw the ball to third base instead of a double play, when Davalon had a ball bounce off his shoulder, when Jared Jones hits a flare and Kojal gets a glove on it and tips off. Like, Arkansas could have won this game 5 times, and they find a way to lose it. It just blows my mind. And this weekend was just another reminder of, like, yep, Arkansas is still awesome, and yep, they've never won one. LSU's sitting over here with 8 trophies. And I would argue that Arkansas has been better than LSU for the last 26 years. And LSU won in 2000, won in 09, won in 23, won in 25, and Arkansas has got nothing to show for it. That is hard for me to manage. But they played really well over the weekend. So just big picture takeaways for me this weekend. Tough stuff from, like, South Carolina's awful. That's take number 1. I think Kentucky's decent. Take number 2. Texas is very good. I still think Ole Miss is really scrappy. I believe it might be Yanko's team this year. Oklahoma, gut check, but Cam Johnson was a disaster, and we'll talk about that on Thursday. And then Arkansas, tough stuff. I think Georgia and Tennessee are both pretty good too. Watching series in that ballpark is bizarre. It's just such a bandbox. Now, Vanderbilt was playing a bandbox yesterday, but such a bandbox. That's a look at the Southeastern Conference in weekend number 1. We'll get into week number 2 in SEC play coming up on Thursday with Joe Healy and LSU at Oklahoma. We'll kick things off on a Thursday night edition of SEC Baseball. Let me tell you about Swing Easy Golf Club, swingeasygcbr.com, swingeasygcbr.com. Looking to play a little bit of golf. It's too cold today to go out there and hit golf shots, but not at Swing Easy Golf Club. Play on the simulator. It's a ton of fun. I love simulator golf. It's different than your standard golf out there on the course, but it's a lot of fun. They got cold beers in there, got television, comfortable seating, bring some friends, socialize, hang out, make an afternoon of it, make an evening of it. Can't play golf at night. It's dark. You can at Swing Easy Golf Club. Fire up Pebble Beach. Fire up TPC Sawgrass where the pros play. Test yourself and your friends against that Island Green 17th. You can become a member. There's some perks that come with that. Get some free time during the month. If you're a member at Swing Easy Golf Club, go by and see him. Segan at Perkins at Swing Easy Golf Club, swingeasygcbr.com. Right, we got 30 minutes to go here. Our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. We'll come back and keep things moving on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. Looking for a new roof? Lifetime Roofing can help you out. You need to trust your roofer, obviously. It's important. There are some roofers that will come in and try to take advantage of people after a storm, try to get you their most expensive product, which is a new roof. At Lifetime Roofing, you can trust them. Let them do that inspection, and if they determine you just need to do a repair, they can do the repair. They determine your roof's okay, let's do a tune-up, fortify things, but your roof's okay. They'll do that. And if you need a new roof, they can do that as well. Need to work with your carrier, they can help you with that. They've got a team there to do it at Lifetime Roofing. Maybe you don't have an event and you're just buying one retail in the retail space. Lifetime Roofing can help you out with that, especially if you're looking to sell your home, want to make sure you can get the best value for your home, want to put a new roof on it. Lifetime Roofing can help you out with that, and they're so thrilled that as of January 1st, they were able to offer a lifetime warranty on the workmanship and the materials, and they're backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. Looking for gutters, looking for siding, looking for windows, Lifetime Roofing can do that as well. Check them out online, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday shows brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Healthcare is complex. They make it easy over at Guarantee Health Solutions. They are a full-service operation over at Guarantee Health Solutions, and they're able to help you as a member of the healthcare community just make things more smooth with your patient. You're talking about a full assessment of the patient journey. They want to make sure that it's hospitable. That's what Rachel Fricke's background is in. She's in the hospitality space and realized with the journey through her mother's journey with cancer that like this is a miserable experience at times. That's what Guarantee Health Solutions helps healthcare folks avoid. Talking about a full assessment of that patient journey, and even as far as like what does your brand look like online? How easy is it to access your care? How many clicks to care? If you're not taking care of your website and you're a healthcare operation, why not? Let Guarantee Health Solution come in and help that. They also can help with finding a building for your healthcare operation. They can work with the real estate agent and handle signage. They can handle your marketing, your SEO, all these things that you don't really want to have on your plate because you want to make sure that you're handling healthcare. That's what Guarantee Health Solutions is here to help you with. Talking about moving healthcare forward, that's Guarantee Health Solutions. They bring you our Monday shows each and every week. All right, last night I was just enthralled with the World Baseball Classic. I really was. I have not watched a ton of it, but I did watch every pitch last night. Skeens was the reason for that. He is must-see television for me and was for a huge audience last night. And I did not realize, I had not watched the Dominican Republic play, and clearly watching as much baseball as I do, I was well aware the Dominican Republic puts out phenomenal baseball players. I was kind of unaware how stacked their lineup is for this World Baseball Classic. You looked at that group and I was like, oh my goodness, superstar after superstar showing up. I mean, Soto is a top 3 hitter in the sport. Judge is right there, Ohtani's right there, but Soto is a top 3 hitter in the sport, no question. Ketel Marte is the best offensive second baseman in the sport to me. Machado is a stud. The Cubs saw him in the playoffs this past year. I mean, it just star after star in that lineup. Tatis is great. And Skeens kind of chewed him up. He hung one breaking ball. They hit out of the ballpark. But I thought he was great, and he's just so difficult to square up. And then the bullpen guys came in after him and were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. My dad looked at me. We were watching the game last night, and he said, does USA have a closer? And I was like, well, I hadn't watched a ton. I've seen in and out. But I'm not sure. And then they panned to Mason Miller. I said, oh, wait a second. He's the most unhittable pitcher in the sport. Literally. No one hits him. The Cubs saw him in the playoffs, had no chance. He struck out 7 guys in a row he faced. Cubs had a pretty good offense. It didn't strike out a lot. He does 103. He's got a great breaking ball. He doesn't throw a lot of balls. And look at the Dominican Republic. They got some balls in play. They got the tying run to third base. And then he threw a slider, and it was low by a good bit, and the pitch was missed. And to have the game end on a missed third strike is disappointing. Live, I kind of thought it was a strike, and then they went back and showed the replay, and it was not even close. It was 8 inches low. But the scene last night in Miami was validating of the World Baseball Classic. This is coming from a guy who potentially may have lost his best hitter. The Cubs' best hitter is probably Seiya Suzuki. He plays for Team Japan. He got hurt stealing a base over the weekend. I was in the Superdome and saw the tweet come across. And I don't know what the severity of it is. They haven't said much of anything. He may be back at practice today. He may be out for the year. I don't know. It looked like a knee. I'm not sure what happened. But it's still like, in with that happening, which is worst case scenario for me as a Cubs fan to have something like that happen. Like what you saw last night, that scene, those guys, the emotion, the effort, the intensity, they want to win. And it has grown into something that is very cool. Like, I love the Cubs so deeply, and if you said you got to take the World Baseball Classic away and say I can come back, like I would make that trade. But I can put that aside. That's a personal interest. And look at, I mean, those guys in the Dominican Republic were fired up yesterday. When they hit that home run, Caminero hit that home run, like they're going nuts in that Dominican Republic dugout. And the crowd must have been 75% Dominican Republic. You're down there in Miami, you probably expect some of that. They were going absolutely bananas. The players on the American side were fired. I mean, Bryce Harper has done everything in the sport. He's fired up out there. Pete Crow Armstrong's running around like a crazy man. Bregman's fired up in the dugout. Bullpen guys are fist pumping coming off the mound. I mean, last night in the first inning, you saw Luis Severino throwing the ball an average of 3 miles an hour faster than his fastball average last year. He was sitting last year about 95. He was touching 99 through 2 innings last night. I mean, that's just adrenaline and being fired up and ready to play. And you look at the time of year, and you look at some organizations don't want their players out there, and I completely understand that, especially what happened with Seiya. And I'm a purist in baseball, and I certainly care way more about Major League Baseball than I do about the World Baseball Classic. But for me to watch that last night, to watch the best players in the world, Juan Soto, Paul Skeens, Aaron Judge, these are the best players in the world in there in a full house, max capacity, energetic, entertaining, competitive game, late haymakers thrown, 103-mile-an-hour fastball, trash talking. I mean, it had everything last night. And it's just an exhibition. Now, one thing I'm not wild about is the thought that because of the popularity that has been created with this World Baseball Classic, and people are watching. Japan is watching. America's watching. I don't know if Italy's watching, but their team's been pretty good. People are watching, and this thing is growing. And the thought is, that in this next CBA, they may move this to the All-Star break. And I'm just not really wild about telling Major League Baseball to go sit in the corner for 2 weeks. That, to me, that messes with the Cubs for me. Like, that messes with my enjoyment of the baseball season to do it then. You could lift pitch counts that they have right now, not have those. You have a 65 to 75 pitch limit in these rounds. and you could take those off in the summer because guys are worked up to it and they're not in the spring, obviously. And so you would get a more representative look, and it would be a more competitive tournament because of that. If Skeens could go 7 innings instead of the 75 pitches he had to go in the first time out, 65 pitches, whatever it was. And so I think it would be good for the World Baseball Classic. I would not be for it. I don't want to take the Cubs off the field for 2 weeks in July. That's part of my summer. I don't want to deal with that. But it feels like because of the popularity, they may do it. There's money on the table to be made. You look at the popularity of this, and the television numbers are going to be very, very good. We've seen the attendance numbers. They're great. Houston was packed out for USA and Mexico. Miami was packed out for USA and Dominican Republic. Japan's going to sell that joint out when Ohtani takes the field. Like, you get it. I just don't want to see it moved to July. But Skeens was must-see TV last night. It's very cool. And this is something I said. I kind of hinted at this last week, but I didn't get all the way to the finished take. I talked about how great it was to see Skeens emerging as kind of the face of baseball in a way. I believe Paul Skeens will be the best LSU pro athlete since Shaq. Like, you look around, and like Justin Jefferson's a superstar, no doubt. Jamar Chase, superstar, no doubt. Joe Burrow, superstar, no doubt. You've seen good Major League players come out of LSU, like DJ LeMahieu, who won a couple batting titles, and Aaron Nola's had a really good run of it. Kevin Gausman revitalized his career in the middle and has done great. Garrett Temple had a long and established career, but none of those guys are in the realm of Shaquille O'Neal. And I think Paul Skeens has a chance to be that. I think Paul Skeens has a chance to be kind of the face of pitching and baseball. He's never going to be the most entertaining guy. He's not going to be a showman like Bryce Harper is, and but he's clearly the best right-handed pitcher in the sport, and he's entering his prime, and he's the face of Team USA on the mound for this team, and we'll see where he ends up post-Pittsburgh. I do not have any reason to believe he will stick in Pittsburgh long-term. I just don't think they're going to pay him what he's going to command, which is, I guess, north of $300 million, maybe north of $250. I'm not certain what that contract's going to look like, but Pittsburgh's not going to pay it. So where he ends up from there, like Shaq was with the Lakers for a long time. That's just different than playing for the Magic. It's just different than playing for. He was a superstar, and his personality helped with that. I think Skeens is next on that list for LSU, and last night was really cool to watch. He was that's the best lineup in the tournament, I would have to think. I think the Dominican Republic lineup is better than Team USA's. I know it's better than Japan's, and I think it's the best. And he held him to 1 run. It was awesome to watch. I'm bummed out that he is in the Cubs division, but they don't have the unbalanced schedules anymore, so the Cubs don't see him too often. And I'm kind of bummed out he's in Pittsburgh, period. But he's awesome, and I think he will be the next guy in line after Shaq when you think about LSU professional athletes. So cool stuff last night from Miami. Team USA beats the Dominican Republic. They will play coming up on Tuesday for the World Baseball Classic. Let's close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. Look, they've been at this for 116 years. I think they know what they're doing. Started up in 1910. They've grown to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So there's always one near you. If you're looking for a commercial loan, slur that word? You're looking for a commercial loan, First American Bank and Trust needs to be your call, because you're talking about a local business with community people that are making decisions on a local level. Every decision that is made on your personal loan, on your commercial loan, is made in Southeast Louisiana. You're not calling somebody in Sacramento. You're not calling somebody in Atlanta. The people that you deal with at First American Bank and Trust are part of your community. It's not a mom and pop shop. 25 locations. They've got the assets that you need to compete with the big banks. It's First American Bank and Trust. Stop in location today and say, hey, it's First American Bank and Trust.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding health care forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Is it too cold for T-ball?
That's actually funny you say that because it was hailing this morning, so it actually might be.
Only hail tonight over at Traction's going to be the Bombers just hitting ground balls to the pitcher. That's most of the ABs are ground balls back to the mound.
Well, it's all about the preparation. Okay, sooner or later, those little ground balls will be dingers right over the fence.
Mm-hmm. We got a text from the parents that said they're allowed to wear hoodies and sweatshirts to T-ball. Put them under the jersey so that everyone's still matching. It's like, we can do that.
I guess a little just to be warm. It wouldn't hurt to be warm out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about me. I'm not so worried about the 4-year-olds. They don't really care. I'm out there in the outfield with the Myers man most of the time. Lord. So we got to see what the temp's gonna be. I think it's gonna be around 50 tonight.
You got to bundle up. The wind might be kicking too. So that wind chill.
The wind was howling this weekend. Absolutely blowing. But we'll see what the Bombers have in store tonight.
I think, is this a game or this practice?
Game.
Oh, this is a game. Oh, well, we know that both teams going to win the game, but, it's all about Hunt, you got to take the baby steps just along with him, man. We're taking these baby steps, and the next thing you know, a couple years later, you'll be like, damn, I remember them T-ball days. Now he's over there, right over the fence.
Oh, yeah. He's on the fast track. He'll be in the World Baseball class before we know it.
Little League Classic, something like that.
Little League World Series. Yeah. I saw they're doing travel coach pitch now.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if that's in the future for the Myers man, but I did hear a rumor that is a thing at this point. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Parents living through the kids, man. Tale of oldest time.
Let's do take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, in the NBA, there's a lot going on right now with expansion, as the NBA will hold a vote at the Board of Governors meeting next week to explore adding expansion franchises in Las Vegas and Seattle, with the 2 new franchises being targeted to start in 2028 and 2029. So Vegas is going to have 3 teams now: basketball, football, and baseball. Would you have thought about this 10 years ago? Take it or leave it, man.
I'll take it. That was always a target there. Is LeBron going to own this team?
I mean, at this point, he might own the team. You know, Mark Cuban might get on it. Who knows, man? Anybody.
The Pels are headed to the East. It's got to be, right?
No. They're talking about Minnesota and Memphis, and I just think that is just the biggest mistake, if you ask me. I think the Pelicans need to be in the East, not only because, come on, man, let us spread our wings in the East. Everybody else can go to the East and be good. Why can't we go to the East? And 2, right now, currently, Minnesota, they have a rivalry with OKC, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. So why would you move them out of the West when they have rivals in the West?
Who's the Pelicans' rival?
I mean, I guess you want to say the Spurs, but I mean, no, I don't want to be rivals with them.
They got the Mavericks to worry about.
Yeah, like, can they go be rivals with the Rockets and all? Come on, man. Look, get us out the West, please. We're not asking for much.
That's what needs to happen.
Hunt, you would think that, but no, apparently Minnesota, Memphis.
The Pels need to be swimming in the water with the Orlando Magic.
Thank
they need
you,
to be
the
swimming.
Hawks. Why can we play the Hawks?
Absolutely, the Hawks. You need to be swimming. You need the Wizards. No, are they the Wizards
I'll
anymore?
take them. All three of us go to the division. We'll take it. That's like the new NFC South. The Hawks, the Wizards, the Pelicans, and the Magic. All 4 of us. Let's get it. I need that. Okay, so Alabama's second leading scorer, Aiden Holloway, has been arrested on a felony drug charge 4 days before his team is set to play the NCAA tournament. Police recovered a pound of marijuana, some paraphernalia, and cash. Holloway has been charged with first-degree possession of marijuana and failure to affix a tax stamp. His bond was set at $5,000, so... Well, Alabama, they won't make a deep tournament run. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I think they'll be fine. It is a little bit of a pattern here with it. It's like you've got some guys that are malcontents in that team. We're dealing with delivering guns to murder sites, and we got a pound of weed. Like, you got some unsavory characters, some unsavory things going on in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
As long as they don't win a national championship, that's fine with me.
Well, Hunt, you forgot the biggest thing. They actually have a guy who's old, fighting for eligibility.
Yeah, he's been gone for 2 years, wants to come back and play. There's a lot of drama over there in T-Town. And I'll tell you this, Nick Saban would never allow his player to be found with a pound of weed. He would just tell the cops to go away. We got football games to win. I run this town.
Call him up. Hey, coach, he'd be like, do not
chill.
Chill. He averages 17 points a game. You might want to relax, brother. Okay, so, I mean, we already spoke about it, but my last take it or leave it was that it was hailing this morning in Baton Rouge, so hailing in March, take it or leave it.
I'm leaving it. This is a ridiculous cold snap. I have no use for it.
No use.
I mean, if it had been a day earlier, LSU would have had some problems because the high in Nashville today is 40.
Woo.
So they'd have been playing in 30-ish degree weather. A lot of places in the SEC, if that weather had come in a day earlier, obviously they got out in front of it in Fayetteville and played a doubleheader on Saturday. But I have no use for this. This needs to be pool season, okay?
Literally.
This needs to be I need 80s, I need 90s. I don't need any of this 50s. Certainly not 40s and no hail either. It's just unacceptable this time of year. We should be well past that. And I think we will at the end of the week.
Every time I think about that, I think about those random games where, you'll check in and it's like the middle of April and you'll look at the Rockies and it's like a random snowstorm happening.
Yeah. No, the Cubs, it doesn't get warm in Chicago until July. June.
That is crazy.
Like, May is cold in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I haven't been to Chicago before, so that's crazy.
I mean, I've never lived in Chicago. I have been to Chicago in April, and I've been to Chicago in May. The worst thing about Chicago winter, I would think, is not that it is very cold. Like, it's cold everywhere in the winter. It takes so long to warm up. It's just April is frigid in Chicago. May is cold in Chicago. June is when it finally starts to light up. And like it's America's summer city. June, July, August in Chicago, you can't beat it with a stick.
Beautiful,
but it just takes forever there. Like I'm turning the Cubs on at 1:20 on a Friday, and everybody's in just bundled up with blankets on in like May 3rd.
You got shorts on. You got shorts on with some crawfish.
Flip flops. Yeah. I'm getting some crawfish tomorrow. I hadn't gotten any yet. You got any crawfish this year?
I've had some a couple of days ago, but again, it's just this weather's throwing me off. I can't do all right, it's nice and warm, got my shorts out, some crawfish. Next thing you know, I'm driving in and I'm hearing ding, ding, ding.
I almost got gumbo at lunch today.
Really?
Because I'm like a big, it's got to be cold to eat gumbo. And I think it was cool. It was cold enough, but I got a salad.
If you would have went there, you might have got the ticket.
I paid for the parking. I should have got the ticket anyway. I already opined on this. Here's another thing, and I talked about it in the rant that I went on. If you're going to put a parking notice on my car, you're going to need to put some legible numbers on there so that I can appeal it properly. These numbers, the 6 is preposterous. It looks like a...
It's like a doctor
It looks like an F.
You did an F? The 6 is like an F?
It looks like an F or a backwards 3. A 6, it was... I couldn't figure out what it was doing.
It's a little pig Latin.
That's ridiculous. All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It, and that's it for us here on this Monday. I gave 30 minutes at the top of the show on LSU's baseball weekend in Nashville. I kind of led with what I thought was the most important thing and hit kind of all the high points there and the low points over the weekend for LSU baseball. If you want to catch that, you can at the top of the show. Talked a little Saints with Kellen Moore. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Talked a little World Baseball Classic. Talked a little Savannah Bananas. Talked some SEC basketball and a little bit of LSU basketball, as well as there's not been any movement over there on campus. So we'll see what happens over the next few days. If you missed any of the show today, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further View. We'll see you tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Before we leave, let's get you caught up on our friends over there at Marucci. You need to catch up with the folks over at Marucci. It is the official bat of Major League Baseball. Such a cool story here in Baton Rouge for a couple of former big leaguers and their trainer to go in the backyard in the shed and start making bats. And then all of a sudden, you fast forward 22 years and you're talking about the official bat of Major League Baseball. They make 1,200 of them a day. Go take a tour at Marucci. The cool thing about the tour is they'll show you where and how they make 1,200 of the best bats in the world every day. They'll also give you the story behind Marucci, which is so cool and unique to our city. So if you got a youth baseball team, take them over to Marucci. If you got a youth softball team, take them over to Marucci. Take a tour and see how they became the #1 bat in Major League Baseball. Go to MarucciSports.com/campus-tour and get those tickets. Every ticket to the Marucci Campus Tour gets a 20% discount in the Campus Tour store and in the Hitter's House. MarucciSports.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look